Good morning. It is 7:31 a.m. on Wednesday, April 13th, 2022. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I stayed up too late last night, which isn't great, but I did have a pretty good time. I got a lot of stuff done yesterday, which felt good. And we had a pretty good session of Dungeons and Dragons where we kind of found a new status quo, I think, that feels pretty good. And that felt good. And had a crazy dragon fight in Elden Ring. I saved a video clip of it, so you'll ideally be able to see it in one of these little things at the end. It's just a little 2-minute thing, but it's fighting a dragon in Elden Ring where we literally killed each other at the same time right at the end, just down to the wire. It was pretty crazy, and obviously if you don't care about Elden Ring, my apologies for continuing to talk about it so much, but boy, I'm still having a lot of fun playing that game. Um, and yeah, I stayed up too late last night. I said that part already. Still kind of fuzzy a little bit. Caffeine will help. I have been trying to investigate how much to feed Rocket because according to his vet, he needs to slim down a little bit, and he is very sad that he's getting fewer treats than he used to because, it's necessary for his health. But trying to figure out what is the right amount to give him is difficult because certainly if you look at dog food and it's like, how much should you feed your dog? And it's like, the problem is very much like how difficult it is to know how much a person should eat to maintain their weight or lose weight. It depends so much on the individual dog and their activity level and what kind of food it is and so on. So trying to figure out, what's the right amount here is not a trivial thing. Not to mention the fact that when I recently got a slightly different variety, I think without realizing it that I was giving him something that was more calorie dense without realizing it, and so that was not the right direction there. Gosh, what my brain is mush sometimes. Oh, I know one of the other things that I was going to talk about is I've been watching gradually, like catching up with Disney's Amphibia, which is a cartoon that it has, I guess, on the Disney Channel, but I've been watching it on Disney Plus. It is currently like 9 episodes into season 3, and I'm pretty close to caught up. I'm a few episodes away from being caught up, and it's a pretty good show. It is, however, another one of those shows where it spends most of its time just being pretty silly. And that's fine. It's not a criticism. I'm just saying this is what kind of show it is most of the time. But then every so often when it dips its toe back into its longer running story, it's surprisingly heavy for how silly it is the rest of the time. This is a template that has been set by several cartoons in the past, like Adventure Time and Steven Universe and so on, where it'll have lots of stuff that is just, spending a lot of time just being fun and silly, and then, of course, invasions and war and sword fights with your best friend. Stuff like that. So it's it's interesting mix, and like the way I say it there almost makes it sound bad, and yet I find those sorts of shows extremely compelling. I think it is for me just something about the fact that there are characters that I have been with through the fun, silly times makes the dramatic times just hit all the harder. But yeah, so The Owl House is another good show along those lines, also on Disney Plus. I haven't watched the new season of that yet, but because I've been catching up on Amphibia. But feel free to check out Amphibia if anything I said there sounds good to you. And in the meantime, I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.